choosing the Poor Life Decisions podcast with David Phipps. My name is David Phipps. With me, as always, is Silver Doubloons, the famous pirate. I know him as one of my best friends, Brandon Dory. Earlier today, he asked me, hey, I got a new idea for a segment here on the Poor Life Decisions podcast. And I said, let me hear what it is. So let me hear what it is again.
The Poor Life Decisions Suicide Pact.
Okay, I'm interested.
It was mostly just a joke about how depressed I've been recently due to sobriety.
It made me laugh.
Sobriety is horrible. I don't recommend it for anyone. With us this week, we have
I prefer drinking.
Recurring guest Garrett, aka David's brother. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And also we have Will. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Will is a notable gangster and gamer. He's kind of a double G threat.
Honestly, anytime anybody that I meet on the internet describes him, they say, wait, he's not a black guy?
I also thought William was black when I first met him.
I did not. I was confused. But delightful.
Everyone is, I don't know.
Me and him met in college.
You know, if I had a nickel for every time I thought I was a black person on the internet.
That's delightful to me. I apologize if it's caused you any grief or anything, but just the thought that...
No, it's never been any grief. It's always been weird to me. Because, you know, I mean, it's my voice. Like, yeah, I don't know, it's just how I talk. It's nothing special. But, like, people are...
I really like your voice.
Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people make a big deal about it, and that kind of makes it
very distinctive and stoic is how I would describe it.
Yeah.
A booming bass.
A baritone?
Yeah.
I always said we should start a sea shanty band together, and my high voice and your low voice would work well together.
Dude, if I could sing, I would be all about that.
Dude, you can sing. Just don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, you guys should learn. Okay, you know what I would do all together as a group? I would learn to sing together.
If you really want to do that, let's do it. Like, I'll do it.
This guy's in.
It's hard to do over the internet. We'd have to get together in person.
Yeah, no. Why is that?
I think if you do it over the internet, it's like you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it live just because of the delay and stuff. It would just be like impossible. But what you could do is like one person could record like their part of the song and then send it to the other person. And they could sing over it as like a recording, and so it would be like an individual thing 3 ways. But you couldn't do it over like Discord or anything. It would never work.
Well, we could go to the same singing teacher.
What do you mean? Like
a singing teacher teaches multiple different students of different tones and like, you know.
Yeah, I think what Silver's talking about is actually singing together over the internet.
Well, yeah.
Learning to sing.
But we have to learn how to sing. Like, I'm not saying I'm a bad singer, but I would definitely want to talk to a professional singing teacher if I thought I was going to, you know, increase my skill as a singer.
Yeah.
Because apparently I got to assume that I don't know anything.
You just do it for fun at the start, you know?
Well, yeah.
Learn a couple of simple songs, like I think my favorite song to learn would be like "Drop of Nelson's Blood." Do you guys know that one?
Yeah,
no.
That's a good song.
Is this one of your folk shanties?
It's a sea shanty.
Yeah.
Nelson's Blood is rum because when Admiral Nelson died, they put him in a barrel of rum to preserve his body on the trip back to England.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Why it tastes so good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an urban legend or something, but some of the sailors said they would, like, you know, sneak a drop of Nelson's blood.
Yep.
Jesus.
And anyway, it's kind of like a pub song. Like there's multiple different versions, and everybody sings it differently. But the version I've heard is like, Everybody's like, it starts off with like a drop of Nelson's blood wouldn't do us any harm, and then it repeats, and then after that, everybody like it has their own verse where they say like something like, "Oh, a bottle of whiskey wouldn't do us any harm." So everybody has like their own little like thing that they're doing, and then everybody joins in the chorus after that. So it's kind of like it's a song that can go on a really long time, especially if you have a lot of people, and it's just.
Is it like 99 bottles of beer on the wall? But you can start with like 1,000,000 bottles of beer on the wall if it's a really long road trip.
Not exactly like that, but
I chose for us to sing. Would you guys do that? 1,000,000 bottles of beer on the wall. 1,000,000 bottles of beer.
I would not do that. That would take too long.
Oh, I think there was a guy who recorded himself counting up to 1 million, and it was like 13 years, I think it took him. It was like a ridiculously long time.
Okay, I'm out. You're right. I apologize for opening my mouth.
It would be easy to figure out how long that would take. You would just do it a few times, take the average, and then multiply.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm sure it would. Yeah, it would take more than our expected lifespans.
Why?
1 million, dude. 1 million is a very large number. Yeah.
No, as soon as somebody said the time commitment, I think it was Garrett, I was just like, I'm out. I decommitted hard. I hate commitment.
Yeah, and that guy even did it like 8 hours a day.
Terrifying.
He had to take breaks, huh?
Well, you can't really count if you're sleeping or if you're eating or shitting. Well, you could while shitting, but do you really want to record that?
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I do want to look at Lula now, since you brought up all that poopy talk. What is it with you furries with pissing and shitting everywhere? Just to anyone in the room. Myself included. I don't like pissing and shitting everywhere.
Are trained, right? They don't piss and shit everywhere if you keep the litter box clean.
I would do that, mainly because of the smell. Dude, this has gone off the rails real quick. William, hey, I apologize.
All right.
You and me met in college.
Yep.
That's how I know you. So I walked up, I said, hey, through a mutual friend, and then you came out talking like that. I didn't understand it. But I knew instantly that I just wanted to hang out with you for, the next 5 minutes, and then it just increasing past that time amount.
Yeah.
Over the years, it's become, hours, but, after like a week or two. But I find that with most people. I love people. I try to talk to them, but I work in customer service. Switching jobs. But anyways, the point is William, it's so good to have you on my podcast. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. It's hot and unpleasant.
Yeah, we've had some ozone issues. That's a new weather one that I would talk about.
I'm not familiar with that.
Well, those aren't really new. Those have been happening for quite some time.
Oh, is the hole in the ozone layer back?
I hear they come and go as they please, maybe? I don't know anymore. They said people with, at-risk, conditions cannot go outside and have prolonged exposure to the sun. It was like 99 degrees out. It wasn't even that bad. I mean, I hated being outside, but, still went out. I do have some of sunburn on my arms. It was weird. I slept a lot. Is that normal? Jesus, why? Well, you're in Canada, Silver. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Does it get that warm there even?
Quite warm here. Yeah, it's I've got a tan for the first time in my life this year. So
Nice.
it's pretty it's nice out. We get some warm days. We get some days that are really too warm to go outside, but I go outside anyway.
Yeah.
You telling me that it was like 100 degrees Fahrenheit the other day?
Oh, so he does know what's going on. My bad.
It's nice though. I like it. I've been doing a lot of biking. Still going at least 100 kilometers a week, and it's good. I like it. One day I went to get ice cream at a local farm market.
Yeah.
And I fed the ducks, fed the koi. They have a koi pond. I fed the goats, but the goats were too hot to eat. There's also
Jesus.
rabbits there, but they were sleeping. And there was a turkey, and that was interesting because the turkey was quite friendly, and he would follow me around wherever I went around his cage. And while I was there, I saw a chipmunk come in and steal some of his food. And the turkey was too busy paying attention to me to notice the chipmunk. Eventually, he did and turned around and kind of gobbled at him, and then the chipmunk just like ran off. It was pretty clever of him, though. I think that chipmunk's probably got it made.
Probably, dude. There's a couple of them that when I was watching Miriam's house, there was a lot of gophers there. Those guys are delightful to look at. I don't get it. Well, gophers, and like when all the birds and all the rabbits were hanging out all together in the same yard, it was weird. It was nice.
Can you again? I hate to talk shop, but can you increase your mic threshold back?
Yeah. Are you getting a lot of fan blowback?
A little bit of fan, a little bit of hearing myself there.
Okay, yeah, definitely. My bad.
No worries.
Making several adjustments.
Did anyone else get up to any exciting shenanigans this week? Did anyone else see anything as exciting as a chipmunk stealing a turkey's food?
I mean, I was telling you about that new sunscreen I ordered. Speaking of it being super hot out, that's exciting. I don't know if it's exciting as a chipmunk stealing a turkey's food, but you know.
Chemical sun repellent.
That's right.
This must be life in quarantine. That's kind of nice. It sounds peaceful. Bit.
I mean, also just having really pale skin.
Yeah. I wear a lot of layers and then people look at me funny.
Greeks used to sunbathe with olive oil all over them because they thought it made them stronger against the sun. Isn't entirely incorrect, but gave them a lot of cancer, probably.
That's delightful. I've heard a lot of weird things about the Greeks and the Romans.
About the kids and stuff. That was pretty weird.
I heard that in Greece it wasn't uncommon for male lovers to be out and about and show, public displays of affection. It was just,
cool.
It was expected of them to marry someone and procreate. So they did that and then had their lovers.
So they practice polyamory.
Sort of,
yeah.
In ancient Greece, you were also provided a personal trainer by this. It was your civic duty to maintain your bodies in case of war.
Didn't they also leave the defective babies out on the hillside for the wolves and all that?
That's just the Spartans. Yeah. Like, I mean, something to keep in mind too is that ancient Greece wasn't really unified until, like, Alexander the Great. Well, his father, Philip of Macedon, unified it. It was a bunch of different city-states that kind of had a similar culture, but were also very different at the same time.
Yeah. Like Sparta, who was all about being the great warrior, and Athens, who was prepared for war but wanted to enlighten themselves.
I mean, that sounds all good and great to me. Wish we did it here. Do we do... Hey, Lula. I don't know. Wait a minute. They also did a lot of the pedophilia stuff, which I guess was okay then? I don't know. I kind of frown upon it.
Life expectancy wasn't that high, so the age of maturity was a lot lower then, too.
Alright. I'm glad we're in the time we're in now.
Yes.
At least there's laws. At least the legal system's worked out for me most of the time.
I mean, they had a lot of laws, too.
I believe that.
Yes.
Isn't it based off of, like, Catholicism?
No, this is
That's the Romans.
before
after.
Catholicism.
Jesus. We're talking about the Greeks exclusively?
Well, I mean, the Romans wouldn't be on Catholicism until, like, what, the 3rd or 4th century? Which is, like, you know, depending on when you call the end of the Roman Empire, it's either at the end of it or halfway through it. So, and even then, the half that survived was Orthodox Christian, not Catholic. So, it's not based on Catholicism.
That's fair. I just usually blame it on religion also. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
I blame it on people.
Yeah, that too.
Religion
A lot
is
of
just
those
a
people
tool.
are always making crusades against what's, not Christian. It's just let people be people. As long as they're not hurting nobody.
And I mean, religion is a tool, as in those people used religion to further their own means, not that the religion is only a tool and blah, blah, blah.
Hot dog.
Free
You guys
silver.
What?
We might be having some lag issues.
Your shit's fucking
Yes.
up, yeah.
Okay.
Did you ask me a question? I heard my name.
Nah, keep talking, man. I guess I'm fucking up.
You guys ever go to
With my-
therapy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Hot dog. Me too.
I stopped going.
Kind of miss it.
The
Why is that?
therapist I had decided I was no longer needed, and I no longer needed it. There we go. And she was moving out of my age range.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, she was still learning when I was in therapy. And then she finally got the job she wanted.
Okay. The first therapist I ever went to told me he couldn't help me. It was weird. I went to him and this was back when I was playing poker like 16 hours a day. And he was like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I play poker. And then in the evening I study." And he's like, "Okay, well that's interesting. What do you study?" And I'm like, "Poker." Don't you have any other interests like politics, or do you watch TV? And I'm like, "No." And he's like, I don't think you want to get better. I don't think I can help you. And I'm like, cool. Have a good one. And then I left. But I never saw him again.
Kind of interesting you say that.
At least he wasn't fleecing you.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is, Canada. This is all free, so.
That's right.
He could have still fleeced you.
Well, yeah, I could have fleeced the government, I guess, but.
Maybe he was just like, this man has the dream job and he's still not happy.
I don't know what it was, but that was literally the whole conversation. Like,
you guys are familiar with the Healthy Gamer?
Okay.
Yeah. He had an interesting take on therapy in one of his videos.
Yeah.
But it was basically like, oh, now I don't remember and I don't want to like speak out of context, but like, basically like a lot of therapy isn't necessarily helpful for a lot of people, or people go to therapy expecting something different. And he said what people, and it kind of mirrored my own reality, like going to therapy, they're like, it wasn't like what I wanted it to be, but what I wanted wasn't really therapy. It was more like a kind of a coaching thing, is what I was really after. Because it's like I went to my first therapist, and he's like, "So what do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't know, fix me," And it's just like, it's not really how it works. You have to tell me what you want to do, and then I help you do it. And like, I don't know what I want or know what's wrong with me.
I want the courage. I want the courage to commit suicide. That's what I
Yeah.
should have told them.
I'd just be worried about the cleanup. Like, then they have to pay some poor guy to like clean me up off a sidewalk and put me in a body bag.
That's his problem. You're dead, dude.
That's kind of his job, though. I would always be worried about I would always be worried about not being found for like a month. So like my body is just there decaying in my apartment.
I think that happened to that guy down the hallway. They had somebody come in and they redid the floors.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Anyways, you were saying?
Me?
Anyone. Jesus, anything but me talking about death again. Like, this guy's talking about not committing suicide, and I'm just like, but I like talking about death. It's a thing.
It's a part of life.
Yeah.
It really should be normalized.
I love dying.
That's why I play video games, is because other people keep killing me before I can kill them.
Nice.
Check my KD, I'm bad at it.
We were shitting on kids tonight, though. We were playing Apex. Like, did we even lose a game?
I think so.
At least one.
Yeah, with at least one.
Oh, yeah.
Where those people like threw the first 2 rounds and then suddenly got really good at aiming.
I remember.
And then my HUD disappeared and like I couldn't buy guns anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, and I had that weird glitch where there was 2 bullet holes in the top left-hand corner of my screen, which I'd never seen before. It was just like stuck on my UI.
Yeah. That is weird. But that sounds like a feature to me now.
Maybe
it's like a gauge or something. I don't know. Does it look cool, or is it kind of hindering your view?
It was there from the beginning of the round, so I definitely wasn't supposed to be there. But and it wasn't. I barely noticed it, to be honest. But it sounded like you were having more trouble than I was.
Last thing I heard is somebody was DDoSing, like some other sort of, not DDoSing, but SDoSing or something like that, to the EA servers for Titanfall 1 and 2, to where they have been rendered unplayable. It's like if anybody starts streaming them, it like puts them in this server where like it just auto-populates with bots, and these bots have like super long character names, like in the millions of digits long, and then they never get to load into any game because they've been blacklisted somehow. And there's a lot of interesting evidence about how like this one guy put out some sort of video, I think it was, where he's just like, hey, check out this tweet I made, where it's just like this deep in development guy at EA, and also at, it's Respawn Entertainment. He's very close with the hacker who is kind of claiming responsibility for this. And like, anytime they change anything, he finds another way to hack into it. It's kind of upsetting because I love that game, and I actually uninstalled it today because I need space on my hard drive.
So, Titanfall.
But I like Apex Legends. That still kind of works. Sounds like it's being fucking weird today. Can't imagine why.
Well, it is part of Respawn.
Yeah, the
Yes,
biggest
it is.
Titanfall 2 streamer right now has 16 viewers.
Yeah, is it 1 or 2?
2. Titanfall 1 doesn't even. There's nobody playing Titanfall 1
Yeah.
on Twitch. Wow, that's kind of a
Makes me
shame.
sad.
That game was dope.
I uninstalled it today. It made me sad. It's like this game doesn't
I've
even work. The single player is
never
amazing.
played it.
The single player is amazing. I wish that would have been in the first game.
Yeah, it's literally one of the best single player FPS campaigns that I've ever played.
Short and sweet, but like just the level design, like that, where you're going through that giant planet factory thing. You know what I'm talking
That
about?
was dope. That level was dope, and the one where you were like traveling between like 2 times, but then the level was different between which time you were in. That was super cool.
Yeah. The way you find that is pretty grisly, but that was cool.
Yeah, the whole thing was just fucking. Yeah, and like your mech had like a fucking personality, and he was kind of a cool character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game was fucking dope.
And the guy that you fight in one of those ending levels, like where you're on the starships or whatever,
and
he's flying around shooting missiles. His daughter is Viper in Apex.
Valkyrie, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. What did I call her?
Viper.
Yeah, that goes to Viper. That it's one of her call signs. It's Big lore, big lore, big lore.
Big lore.
Also, she's a lesbian. She's got a lot of cheesy like lesbian lines.
Like what?
I like my women like I love my vodka, chilled and on somebody else's tab.
Nice. He likes prostitutes.
Sounds like.
Cool. We have that in common.
Yeah. As the song goes, I love bad bitches. And that was my problem. In therapy, I never had to, like, I would have relationships with women, but they were never very healthy, and I could never figure out why. The only time I would, like, actually want to stay in it was when they were mean to me. You know? So that's, and then, like, anytime
you figure that out?
Oh, still single, seems to be working. But, like, enough therapists start saying, like, okay, I think you've graduated from me. Give me a hug. I love you. Good luck. I'm just like, you're a therapist, and I feel that way towards you too, but, like, this is why I don't believe in therapy. And then you got another guy who's just like a drug salesman, which, God bless him, he was very good at it. It is just business. That's why I didn't continue schooling into it. It was just like, this is like taking advantage of people, and sometimes it can really help someone, but it's still just kind of like,
sorry,
the drug companies, like, I don't want to do that. Unless it was like free in Canada.
My therapist he like suggested I take drugs, but then he also like suggested I get off them too. Like, he wasn't pushy at all with it. But if anything, I'd say he was a little bit more encouraging me to get off drugs. So
my guy was always trying to find me another one.
And my doctor had me on antidepressants for somewhere between 5 and 10 years off and on. Those things fucking... They made my dick feel really bad. That was the worst.
Kind of numbs me.
Yeah. That was the thing.
Well, I haven't been on them in a while.
When I was in therapy, that was when I was on Metadate, which is the
meth?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Methylphenidate.
Methylphenidate. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what it's.
Sounds therapeutic.
Was it?
I was on it for ADHD.
Did it work? Did it help?
I think so.
What was your experience with ADHD like? Because I'm dealing with somebody who has ADHD right now, and I have no idea what to do with it.
Well, what kind of problems are you having?
She gets very emotional, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And when I ask her what she wants me to do, she says, "Let me know when you figure it out."
This is why I'm single.
That sounds like other problems.
Yes.
I just distance myself from her usually.
Well, my ADHD was... I think a lot of it had to do with patience. I was told I was less angry while on it, so I wasn't as snappy or quick to anger, whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, on it and off of it, I was the same.
Right.
I'd rather go without then, I guess, eh?
But
But other people told you were less angry, is what you're saying.
yes.
Oh.
Savage told me to take it quite a few times.
Was this back in high school?
And middle school.
Do you ever share those drugs with Doc?
No.
Incredible.
I do remember telling you to take it. I remember being like, dude, you are kind of freaking out about nothing. Like people started coming to me and saying like, dude, can you talk to him? Because he's freaking me out. But to be honest, I'm sure our friends have come and talked to you about me as well.
Yes.
Yes.
We're all incredibly flawed. The
biggest
flaw of all is thinking that you're better than anyone else.
I try not to think that ever. I may be funnier than anyone, but I've been proven.
You've been proven unfunny in many occasions as well.
Yeah, I'm being a drunk asshole. My bad. Like now. You're saying so.
I think I did my bike on my point out there. But no, I just think like everybody we've all got problems, and it's like everybody's going through shit and everybody's dealing with stuff, and it's like everybody we're all working through it. Life is very hard. Anyone who tells you it's easy is lying.
Work hard and say it's easy. Do it just to please me. Tomorrow will be different.
Will it though?
No. The end has no end.
Hence the reason, same shit, different day.
One day we will die. Let me. I hear every day above ground is a good day. I'm just spouting random music lyrics at you in the hopes that you feel anything other than sadness right now.
Nobody gets out of here alive.
I like the song "I Want Death for My Birthday."
Gross.
Because it's all about wanting death until the very end.
Yep.
And the ending lyrics are, "Let me just see till my birthday one more time."
Is it some sort of screaming band?
No.
Huh.
That does sound about right. I can see like being close to death and then being like, because like the like have you guys ever had a near death experience?
Yes.
I thought I was gonna die when it felt like I was drowning.
That counts. How did you feel when you thought you were drowning?
I just thought, well, this sucks.
What was happening?
We were in Uncle Jason's pool.
Okay.
And I was trying to do something stupid with float tube, and somehow I got stuck upside down, and wriggling wasn't helping me until Davidge pulled me up.
Would you say the doc saved your life?
In that moment, yes.
Do you remember this, Doc? You have like a bewildered look on your
I wasn't
face.
the one that like flipped you over or anything, was I?
Well, you were right next to me, so yeah.
God damn it. I am a fucking asshole. I hope I didn't fucking flip it. Did I?
Oh, no, you flipped me up, right? You didn't flip that tube.
You didn't try to dive through it or something, did you?
Yeah. Something stupid.
Are you on the Delta 8?
Right now, yes.
I figured. Okay.
But it wasn't like, did you have an experience as if, like, did you have a moment of clarity? Did you think about life differently after that experience?
Not really. I still had a very narrow view.
That doesn't sound like a near-death experience.
But I'm sure everybody experiences this kind of thing differently.
I suppose.
I was reminded earlier of just how autistic I was growing up.
Sure.
I was told that I would clean stores because they're supposed to be clean, and I would keep my room dirty so that parents had a reason to yell at me.
I think that last part is a different thing. It's kind of how you got attention from Mom, is the royal we, or you know?
Yeah. Well, sort of goes for Dad, too.
I usually didn't have a problem with that.
I think we tend to listen to people more when they're hostile or negative than when they're loving. How my cat is.
Negative experiences do tend to stick out.
Recall bias. Every poker player knows about this.
It has to do with we don't get a lot of meaningful, positive experiences in life.
Mm.
You know, like something that I kind of going back to therapy or like whatever, like something I've had to work with is like I just don't believe people when they give me positive feedback. And it's like, because I never really received it as a child, and even my parents did, it was, I don't know, it was, there were always caveats to it. Like, I don't know. I don't really want to go into it, but like, basically.
Participation award sort of thing?
Not exactly. But like, I guess it always seemed kind of fake, forced. That's how it was. And so it's like, that's the only feedback I got from my parents. Were like, the only time I could tell that their feedback was genuine was when it was negative. So that's when I learned this is what real feedback is. So that's just what I looked for in, everything, be it, romantic relationships, work relationships, friendships, all that stuff. So I guess, no, it's awful. I guess the point was, I think you're right that we, seek out those things. Like we believe it, we need it. Like that's how we get attention. But I think it's something that's learned. I don't know if it's like necessarily innate. I also think it's worth pointing out that like just our modern consumer based society, like everything is co-opted now. Like it's Pride Month, and like so what is it? Like the companies are posting rainbow flags everywhere because they're like,
Happy
buy our
Pride Month,
stuff.
everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully, genuine praise on my part. I don't know if you can ever tell if I'm being genuine.
Right, but see, that's the thing. It's like you can't just say like Happy Pride Month. There's always like a caveat. Like, what is he pushing behind it? I'm not saying you're doing it right now. I know you're being genuine, but like,
I love the entire alphabet.
and since no marketing campaign is going to purposely associate themselves with something negative, it's like everything we see that's positive, or like everything positive that gets thrown at us in like popular culture, like popular media is, I don't know, it's got a caveat to it. Someone's trying to push something with it.
For sure.
I think, too.
Absolutely, I agree. What is it, though? Is it positive? Is it negative?
What do you mean?
The agenda they're trying to push.
Well, it depends on who it is, but I think at the end of the day, it's how can they benefit from the situation.
I bet you it has something to do with money.
Well, yeah, but I think there are ways you can benefit other than money, like power, or like, like
together strong.
like Mitch McConnell going along with what Donald Trump wants, so he can get power, right? Or he can get his agenda through, like a non-directly monetary example. But yeah, I guess oftentimes it's money.
It's like, I don't know. We have such a beautiful world, and we have such a cool, like being alive is such a cool experience that I wish, I wish that was more of a, wish there was more of a feeling of where we're doing all this because we want to build the best world for the most people that we possibly can. And I think that probably there's a lot of people out there that think that that's what they're doing, and that's what they probably believe, or they like try to accrue wealth because they feel like, I mean, wealth is influence. And so if you believe you have the best views or you have the best way of thinking, if you accrue the most wealth and you influence people to behave the way you think, then you probably believe that you're making the world a better place.
Yeah. I want to leave some money to my offspring one day.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah,
for sure.
A little shithead.
And the stairway to heaven is coded in blood.
I've never heard that before.
I was just joking.
I don't think it's ever really been said.
What does it mean?
Good intentions, bad intentions. People sometimes do bad things for a good reason, or what they think is a good reason. And sometimes good things happen from bad things.
I would never.
Such as, the guy that invented the refrigerator coolant. Before it was discovered it was tearing apart the ozone, he thought he was making it safer for people who built the fridges.
Yeah.
Because it used some pretty volatile chemicals, and explosions were not unheard of. So, but now we know not to use those chemicals. Bad thing,
That's an important lesson.
Yes.
Thank God we live in the age we live in.
Yes.
At least nobody's out there dying of bubonic plague still. I'm sure Ebola V2 will come around, though.
And then there's also with that, the bubonic plague. Some people who fought off the plague, their DNA changed. Then eventually it, for some reason, that specifically changed how HIV interacted with them, and they are effectively immune to it.
Jesus. Did you just say people who had the bubonic plague are can't get AIDS?
Like 15% of those who were able to survive the plague.
Having it?
Yeah. Their descendants had.
That's cool.
So
different cell structures in.
I haven't looked at this in a while, but was it that they basically like 10% or 15% of I want to say Europeans or like it might be a it might be ethnicities. I don't know if it's like general Europeans or just like certain ethnicities from the European area don't have the receptors on their cells that HIV latches onto. And I've heard it's related to the Black Plague. I haven't heard exactly like what the mechanism was for that, but yeah.
Somehow the plague changed them. That's all I know.
I mean, did it change them or did it like, select for them? You know, like
Maybe.
the mutation was already there, and then the plague just wasn't effective at it, so they're killing it, so they survived at a higher rate than other people.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I remember what I was going to ask a million minutes ago. Silver, are you sad because you're hung up about this lady?
No.
You're just depressed.
Depressed because my brain isn't producing any of the happy chemicals.
That's because you're not taking any of the happy chemicals.
Right.
Your brain has a deficiency, my dude.
That's how I mean, I don't know. That seems to be the case. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to understand how any of this shit works. I know that when I'm not taking weed, I feel worse, and I think about killing myself a lot. And it sucks, but it is what it is. I gotta take it. I gotta take off every once in a while. Otherwise, get headaches. I get my tolerance goes down, so I gotta take more. And it's gonna be a hard month. But once July comes, I'm gonna get high as fuck, and it's gonna feel great. And I'm going to be on the moon. So I just have to, not kill myself for another 18 days. And then, life's going to be great.
That's a hefty bounty you've racked up. Only 18 left?
Already on the 12th day of the month, dude.
You could probably pee in a cup clean.
I don't know.
If you got one of those flusher drinks?
I've never had to...
Hair...
Hot dog. You're a step ahead.
They could still test his hair.
What hair, dude?
You have beard hair, you have hair on your arms. It all... You just only think of hair on your head, because that's where the most of it is.
That shit lasered off. Fuck everybody. I'm not giving some company my fucking... Jesus Christ. That's fucking disgusting that a company would ask for, like, a piece of your body.
It's okay. Well, it's real sterile.
Technically, hair is a secretion.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Fuck you if you ever ask me to pee in a cup, ask for my fucking hair.
You want me to pee in a cup? I'll get you 3 cups of pee by tomorrow.
I just think that's I think that's just an incredible invasion of privacy and disgusting.
It is a little disgusting. I did say earlier. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I did spill it all over my hands a little bit last time I did it. But they had a nice sink there that I could wash my hands in, so that was cool. I did that this past week. Yeah. Hey, it's fine, man. They want to pay me a hefty ransom to be nice to boomers. Restart computers. Also install.
What the fuck does that have to do with smoking weed? You think I would? You think I'd be nicer to boomers on weed or off of it?
If I'm being honest, nicer.
I think you'd be nicer on weed.
Yeah, nicer on. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Same.
That's how I used to be. You know, back when I still did.
I'm quicker to comedy or laughing at situations and
yeah, that's
off
nice.
of it.
Especially after that dies out, you know, sometime after late childhood or whenever you had it die for you. Some people surprise me and they're still childlike.
I try and find comedy in everything.
Yeah.
Because I think comedy really encapsulates understanding. Because something can be funny because it's true or because it isn't true.
That's true.
That's what makes it funny.
That's my favorite part about it.
I lost my will to live in high school.
Yeah? What did it? I think you told me once, maybe. Maybe even on the show here.
I think it was a combination of things, but basically it was just like the realization that life is like not at all what I thought it was going to be growing up. You know, growing up playing video games, reading books, and hearing stories and movies, and you know, thinking that you're going to be the main character in some epic adventure, and your life is going to be this big fucking exciting thing, and then realizing that actually you're just a fucking shitty cog in a shitty machine, and everything's shit, and everybody's miserable, and life is very difficult, and I don't, you know, it's very. They sold us a dream that was unattainable and unrealistic, and it was very depressing when the disillusionment came about.
We'll get there, baby. Together.
No, we won't. No, we
My ship, your captain.
Stop.
6th grade.
I'll transfer
essentially
ownership
for me
over to you as soon as I can afford a better one.
Figure it out for me.
But it'll be a good first one, I promise.
Dude, I wish you the best, but I've given up hope.
Oh, come on.
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
I know what to tell you. Do drugs.
No, like, you know, it'll be great, but I mean, it's nothing like what.
Spoiler alert! Do drugs.
When I was young, it was like you can do whatever you want. You can go to the moon if you want.
That's not necessarily not true.
You're going to be a millionaire.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's what you want to do.
Somebody who was born to my station, to my parents, in my economic situation.
You're a handsome young whippersnapper.
We'll never go to the moon. I'm sorry, that's just the realistic.
That's unrealistic thinking, dude.
Do you know the people who go to the people who go to the moon? The people who go to the moon, dude, you know, they went to like private schools. They went to like heavily funded colleges. They had everything set up and lined up for them. It's like
that's not necessarily true, but I think you're right. It is.
It's sure. I mean, there's exceptions, but like you know, it's the vast majority of the time. It's like
you do have to get on the right track pretty early on in life, and having all those advantages like rich parents, going to private school, etc., like puts you on that track and makes it much easier to get on that track. You know, like I could have, if I had wanted to be an astronaut and I had like done the research in, you know, middle school and started working on it then, you know, I could have been an astronaut. But
in middle school?
Yeah, dude, you do well in high school, so you get into a good college. Do well in college, so you get,
John Oliver, I think, just did something about that.
Oh yeah, I didn't see it.
I haven't either. What's the
about
Let's not.
public schools.
Yeah. What about him?
That well, he got into the how the white people fled the cities when the black people came into the cities. So, a public school was set up out in the suburbs,
Sure.
and of course, it would get funding because that's where all the money was. And then he then got into the forced busing, which is taking the inner city kids to those better schools.
Uh-huh.
And how under Reagan, that was vilified and stopped.
Yeah, he was kind of a villain himself, I hear.
Yeah.
Those wascally Republicans are always getting away with it, too. That's what I hear. But the Dems are doing it as well, so whatever.
But he also... Oh, it was also about model minority. How Asian, and I mean that as how he used it, not... Because I know there are many cultures that are just located very close together.
You could call Russians Asians, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
And how during the 60s and after that, we imported Asians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot commodity. It's like rice. Can't get enough of it.
And he said the propaganda for that was quite spot on. We don't promise you happiness, but we promise you to come.
That's very well timed.
Yes. We promise to pay for your trip. Basically, that's how we imported Asians.
That's why we got so many Hmong people here in Wisconsin, I bet.
It's not actually true. Hmong people are refugees from the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't import them. They're here as refugees.
Was he at the end? That was the 80s.
They were kind of imported by our hand because
so Reagan was just hitting up all of Asia.
Invade their country, sort of.
Well, yeah, we invaded their country, and then they fought with us. And then when we lost,
we imported them here.
I mean, I guess technically.
I bet they were clinging to the sides of our airships, you know?
Yeah. Dude, you remember Jay Lee?
Yeah, dude. He's cool as fuck. I was pretty lame.
Yeah, his parents, I guess, escaped from a concentration camp in Laos or something.
God damn.
I never got the full story, but he said I think it was something like his dad, like him and his brothers broke out of a concentration camp in Laos and then, got to a refugee camp in Thailand, and then they were eventually able to get over to the U.S. or something.
Yeah.
Dude, people's lives are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about my ex-girlfriend's dad?
Sorry, I was just going to say, and then I complain about going to therapy because my problems are so bad, you know? That's why I stopped going.
You know what? No, I think that's an interesting point, and that's actually a problem I've had too, is where I think about, my problems are so little, but then,
yeah,
they become big problems if you don't take care of them, right? Absolutely. I can't live other people's lives, I have to live my life, I have to deal with my problems.
Exactly.
So.
But that doesn't mean you can't help when you're in a position.
Right, when you're in a position, but
yeah,
not much I can do about concentration camps in Laos that happened 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Ask your dad's balls to create you sooner, I guess.
Go back in time and tell my dad to go to Vietnam instead of Germany.
Maybe you would have come out half Hmong, dude.
Maybe. Might not have come out at all. My dad was in MP school. Like,
yeah.
the MPs took it pretty hard in Vietnam.
Jesus.
I don't know. I wasn't there, but yeah.
Yeah. I got to apologize to Yao Ming. I know he's Chinese. Okay. Sorry.
He's pretty in favor for the Communist Party, so I don't really give a shit.
I mean, he's still a giant human being.
Who has some pretty shitty morals right now. I think he saw big money in the NBA, and that was his way out. But when the NBA was done with him and he went back to China, he got shafted. But he could have stayed in the U.S. if he really wanted to, I think.
Probably.
That's totally another whole reason why the NBA was having pressure from China, because Yao Ming was a big help in exporting our sport to them.
I get that. It's a good sport. I don't.
Yeah.
I try not to watch it that much.
That was one of the things that surprised me the most about being in China, is the NBA was actually on the TV quite frequently. Like, we'd be just in some apartment eating dinner, and like they'd put the TV on in the background. Like the NBA would be on. I was like, that's unexpected. But
I'd get into it then, man.
Teams are actually flown over there to play exhibition matches too.
That makes sense.
Exhibition matches. Everybody just has to watch. Disgusting.
Well, it can't be a competition because it's not in America, so we can't televise it easily.
Silver Doubloon's the famous pirate.
Go on.
You gotta do something.
Well.
Something. I can see the 1,000-yard stare on you, man.
We could end the show and go back to playing Apex.
Yeah, we could do that. I was talking more doing... Don't you have legal THC there?
Oh, for sure.
I don't want to peer pressure you, just as your friend.
You know, am I the only one that finds it kind of ironic that Davidge was talking about how he didn't like his therapist always pushing drugs on him, and now here he is pushing drugs as a solution to someone else's problem?
I see the difference.
I committed to not taking drugs for June.
Oh, but the reason that I didn't want to get more drugs is because I was just like, dude, I still feel the same. And he's just like, oh, well, let's just put more drugs on it. And it was just getting to a point where I didn't want to be on 5 or 6 drugs at a time. You know?
I mean, that's incredibly reasonable to say. Silver has expressed his interest in not taking drugs for the month of June. And here you are just telling him to take drugs.
I'll be back on the wagon. You know, it's just a couple 18 more days, dude. I'll be fine.
All right. It hurts me to see you this way. It pains me. What are you thinking about? What do you think? What's going on in that handsome brain?
I have a headache, and whenever I think, it's mostly about killing myself. Or about all the, like, terrible things. They're just terrible things.
Have you thought about, instead of being off weed altogether, what about smoking hemp and switching it up? Because it does use different cannabinoids then.
I don't know anything about hemp. I don't even know how I would. I don't even know if it's. I don't know anything about it. I've never tried it.
Let me put it to you this way: if weed is legal, hemp is legal.
Oh, I'm sure, but I mean, I don't know.
It's basically treated as weed, just not as, hallucinogenic or psychotropic, I should say.
You guys only have to put up with me for like 3 more podcasts. It'll be fine.
I'm just offering options, okay? It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll be alright.
All right.
Just know that you are loved.
Oh, dude, for sure.
Yes, same. Love you, Dad. It's a big love taco here tonight. Love you, Will.
Me too, Dobby. I'm sorry.
That's what my grandma calls me.
Jesus,
my dad.
I'm sorry.
No, that's quite all right. It's quite
weird. That's weird because you call me Wilhelm and my grandma calls me Wilhelm too.
It mustn't be
Is
written
your grandma German?
Austrian.
Austrian.
Well,
okay. Well, that makes sense.
No, she was born in America, but her mother was Austrian and her father was Belgian. So whatever.
It's also the name of the robot boss in Borderlands 2.
Jesus. The big one?
It was like a mid-game, but he was a mid-game boss. He was actually a pushover, but
he showed up in the beginning too.
I don't really remember that well.
I don't either. As much as a good game that game is, I don't play it too often.
I know I didn't finish the game.
I didn't finish all the DLCs. Or the third one. But besides the point, Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Man. You were saying something about your ex-girlfriend's dad?
Oh. I was just going to carry on with people having really hard lives. So, my ex-girlfriend is of Chinese descent.
Yes.
Her dad, she told me her dad was at Tiananmen Square as a college student. And so he kind of left the country because of that.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it wasn't clear about it. I wish I could have asked him about it. I never met him, so I never really got a chance to talk about it, but it wasn't an immediate thing. It wasn't like he left and then fled the country the next day. It was a few years after. I think he just decided he had better opportunities in America.
Safer opportunities, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody kicks down your door in the middle of the night because you had too many daughters or whatever. I hear they repealed that, so.
I think they're up to 3 children.
Now.
Wow, we did it. An allotment of children.
Get fucking.
Yeah.
I find it kind of funny.
You find it kind of sad?
No. Well, yeah, but so the whole problem they have is that there's too many old people.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's going to have that problem. We're dealing with it right now. Or we will be, too many boomers. They're all going to get old and no one's going to be able to take care of them because they didn't have enough kids and they didn't leave us a, functioning system behind.
No, none of us are having kids. I mean, literally none of us in this call have children.
Yeah, but they also kind of shot themselves in the foot because they've been killing children and...
Oh yeah, China, you're right. China's got it worse, but it is kind of everywhere.
Yes.
We gotta automate everything so we can just take care of old people.
It'd be much easier in space, I bet. Maybe that's why Elon wants to go to the Mars and the moon.
Thinking of
He
Jeff
wants to go to
Bezos.
moon so he doesn't have to take care of his parents. He's like, oh, I would take care of you, but I'm on the moon right now, so I can't really do anything.
You guys heard that Jeff Bezos is literally going up to space.
Yeah, he's also getting a $10 billion like grant from the government to do so because he needs more money.
Well,
that's weird.
Funny how we just subsidize billionaires.
Not funny, it's infuriating.
Yeah.
Infuriating and unfortunately
guys, we should rise up.
Should.
We should form
Let's bring the guillotine back.
What's that?
Let's bring the guillotine back.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's the French in you, but yeah, I get the sentiment and I agree.
You guys want to start a revolution like right now? The Poor Life Decisions revolution.
Oh, okay. So I have a weird tangent.
He's making you smile. I like that. Who are our generals? I nominate Will.
Jeez, I don't know if I want the responsibility.
Somebody's got to do it. We can't all just sit around being like, oh, somebody should start a revolution and then like start a revolution.
I'll train up the militiamen to at least shoot straight when they're not getting shot at, because we'll need to save the ammo. Hopefully they don't run away at the first sign of a gun.
The French are actually quite powerful and have many victories.
Yeah, but these are French Canadians. Not to say that they won't fight. I'm just saying.
Hey, they didn't have to fight for their freedom. They asked for it nicely.
It's mighty polite of them.
If you immigrate to Canada, you still have to swear fealty to the Queen of England.
Yeah.
Queen, she does not have a head.
But you are your own sovereign nation. So it's more...
Dude, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent on your tangent, but like the Queen of England still theoretically has power to do stuff in several countries. Like, what if like Queen Elizabeth was like on her deathbed, just like disbands the Parliament of Canada for a giggle or something?
Did you know that she can veto any legislation she wants?
No, I didn't. But exactly, do something like that. What if like Canada's about to pass this awesome bill and then she's just like, nah. And then dies. I'm sorry.
Well, then the next generation can veto that veto.
I hope for the best. Hopefully they get their dentistry figured out across the pond.
They have.
Is that still a valid stereotype? No? You're telling me?
No.
Alright. Well, I'll stop being medieval then. You know what? Never met a British person I didn't like. Honestly, I only talked to them over the phone.
It's kind of interesting how America was the one to kind of export good dentist hygiene sort of protocols during World War II.
I should import some good dental records and practices.
Well, no, in order to make sure that the men were not dying of stuff in their mouth, part of their daily ration was toothpaste.
Yeah.
But they were also given cigarettes, and when the war ended and everyone went back home or wherever they went, they took those practices with them.
That's good.
Yes and no. The smoking was probably not a good thing to take back with them.
No, probably did not help the teeth.
They did see war, and war is hell.
That's what I hear.
But my weird tangent about when you brought up the guillotine is the reason America doesn't use the metric system is because the ship that had the like prototype units so that we could standardize it sunk. And the reason why that's a tangent is because France was the biggest place for the metric system.
Okay, Magnifique, baby. Wait, so the French ship failed?
Well, I don't know if it was a French ship. I'm sure it sailed from France, but it sunk with the standardized units so we could mass produce them here.
You were not kidding about that tangent thing, dude. I mean, it is in France.
You know that the kilogram is just based off of some random rock some dude just picked up, and then the rest of the metric system is divulged from that.
Still more accurate.
That's how it used to be. Now there's that silicone orb.
Oh, I don't know anything about a silicone orb.
Well, it's kilogram is now a certain number of atoms of silicone.
I didn't know that.
Fucking science, man.
Does silicone like not have like as long of a half-life or something? What's so special about silicone?
If it would have a long half-life.
I remember that being a thing about the rock because like the fucking kilogram used to change over time, like extremely slowly because of the half-life of the rock.
Yeah, why not just the king's foot? You know?
I played bocce ball for the first time this week, and we used our feet to measure the distance between the balls.
Isn't that a game that you play exclusively in metric?
I don't know anything about that, but we used our like actually like walking with like one foot in front of the other to. Well, we had a tape there. We would use if there was like any discrepancy or uncertainty, but that's a fun game.
I have only heard of bocce ball.
It's yeah, if you guys don't know, it's basically there's like 4 balls. We were playing doubles. Each team has 4 balls, so each person gets 2, and then there's like 1 ball that you throw this small ball, and then everybody throws the bigger balls like one at a time. You try to get it to as close to the small ball as possible. And you can like hit the other person's ball, or you can hit the small ball, and the points are determined. Like whoever has the closest ball gets 1 point. If you have the 2 closest balls, you get 2. If the 3 closest, you get 3, and so on. But as soon as one person's ball is, it cuts it off. And it was a fun game because you throw it on like you could throw the small ball on like a place where there was a bump or there was like an incline, and then you'd have to roll the balls and try to make sure that it didn't go too far or didn't slide back down or anything like that. You could throw it up against a tree so that you'd have like a hard spot to hit against, and you could throw it a little bit harder, and it would it was a pretty interesting game. It was a lot of fun. Very casual, very relaxed, enjoyable.
And you want to kill yourself.
Kind of sounds like a complicated game of horseshoes.
Sure.
That's not a bad game. Never been good at it. I'd be interested in trying bocce ball. Might be a little hard with the distance nowadays, but
I mean, you can throw the ball however far you want. Like if you want to, you can throw the ball like 10 feet in front of you, and it just makes the game totally different because you're going for real specific accuracy, and
I meant you and me distance. And since I'm here in America and you're up there in Canada, we wouldn't be able to play, you know?
That's why we mostly play video games together, I think.
That's true. We were talking about playing Apex. I don't think we've done any poor life decisions this week. I know your brother came up with it.
Or political decisions. I've never voted. One time I sent an email to my local municipal representative, urging him to consider allowing the legality of suicide, which is on topic. This was many years ago. He never responded to me.
Oh, that's mighty white of him.
Do you mean assisted suicide?
Just legal suicide in general, yeah.
Didn't even.
Whoa, I have a lot of emails.
You know what else he didn't do? Is it illegal to commit suicide in Canada?
No.
Because it is here in the States.
If it's still on the books, it's largely not used, so it might as well not be a law.
Gross.
But if you commit suicide, or attempt it, I should say, and fail, it shouldn't really be illegal.
The subject line was a rumination on mental health and sanctioned suicide. It was a long email, not that.
You didn't even get like your email was received by our office email?
Nope.
And people say our government doesn't work.
Poorest political decision I ever made was, instead of having my ballot put in a ballot box, I tried to mail it in this last election.
You're not allowed to do that or something?
Yeah.
It was largely a lot of ballots in Wisconsin were going missing if you mailed it in.
Mine went in smooth as butter.
I never got confirmation, so I am going on the it didn't go.
I got a letter in the mail saying it went through.
I didn't.
Yeah. What about you, William? You ever make any bad political decisions? You vote for Trump?
I didn't vote for Trump.
I voted for Clinton. Or, no, I'm sorry. I wrote Bernie Sanders in.
Oh, yeah. Garbage is the reason that Trump won the 2016 election.
My bad.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't know if this really counts, but when I was in high school, there was some club that was like, I don't know, some dumb high school club, right? It was for like tech stuff. And like, me and my friends were in it. We never really did anything with it. And then like, we were like seniors, and then some other kids wanted to be elected to it and actually do stuff with it. And we're like, no, we can't do that. So like we organized and like got ourselves elected to the club president, and then because we didn't want to let the other kids do it, we're just like, we should have just let the other kids. It's really dumb and spiteful now that I think about it. Like,
Jesus.
You know, it's kind of political, I guess.
It is. Did you learn anything from it?
And not to be such a shitty person, I don't know. Not to stand in other people's way when they want to do stuff, you know.
Would they have mucked up the job about it, though?
No, I think they would have done good. As far as I know, they just got elected the next year and then actually did stuff with it. So.
That sounds fair. What about you, Silver Garrett? What did you learn from your political decisions?
Nothing.
Be smarter with my ballot.
I don't really engage with the political system at all.
Yeah, I get that. I know other people here in the States that don't vote.
This last election was my first time voting.
Who'd you vote for?
I would rather not say on stream. It's not Trump.
Oh, okay, that's a good clarification to make.
Like, I don't. The only thing anybody here would ever judge you.
Yeah, no.
Well, I already have one crazy person. I would rather not elucidate others.
You have a crazy person. Do you keep them in your basement?
No.
Where do you
Crazy
keep them?
person after me. I've already explained this to you, Davidge.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
Not on stream.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I apologize. Let's
Sorry.
not dox anyone.
I don't want to give information that I don't have to.
That's cool, man. I
on the
won't
internet.
press you on it. I am being a little bit of a peer pressurer today.
Donnie's in the chat, says, "What's up, boys?"
Oh, hey, Donnie. Why don't you throw that
Hello.
answer at Silver Doubloons? I still have to tell my poor political decision. I've done a couple already. Like I told Scott Walker to kill himself. The one I wrote in Bernie Sanders. I voted for Barack Hussein Obama twice.
Interesting. Why do you think that was a bad one?
Because he's the president with the highest drone KD, I think.
Well, Trump is higher, but yeah, he's second. Yeah.
Okay.
The only difference is Trump passed a law, so he doesn't have to report him.
Wow.
So, but yeah, everyone who tracks that stuff, which is no longer the U.S. government.
I think Hillary would have done that too.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't think Trump would actually accomplish anything. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong.
It's not what Trump did; it's what all the people around him did. That's the real problem, you know.
Well, didn't he do that though?
It happened under him. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, do you ever, there was some secretary who just talked about, walking into Trump's office and distracting him, and, while he was with, some random conversation, then while he was doing that, he, pulled something off his desk that he didn't want Trump to sign, and Trump just, had no idea.
Donnie's challenging this, by the way. He says Trump was not higher. None of this is true, he says. Trump is the first president not to have a new conflict under him since the 70s.
Well, this one.
Well, then what was all that we killed a fucking Iranian general?
I don't think we ever claimed he started a new conflict. He just, continued all the existing ones.
Yeah.
Killed the most people with drones of any U.S. president.
Why start new wars if we already have old ones that we could continue to, to drive our industrial complex, what have you, war industrial complex. How was I supposed to know? He fucking hosted what was it called? You're Fired?
The Apprentice?
Yeah. He had a fucking
that should have been
line.
your first red flag.
Yeah.
How was I supposed to know a reality star would have made a bad president?
Reagan.
I never felt so proud to be a part of something. Just like Idiocracy is actually real. It's happening. We did it. Welcome to Costco. I love you. All the smart people died of coronavirus, and now we're repopulating with.
Donnie says he ended a few conflicts and signed 4 landmark peace deals in the Middle East.
Yeah, but how are those peace deals holding up right now?
And did he accomplish them, or was he just the fucking figurehead? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's the fucking figurehead. Because he's a fucking moron.
Also, what conflicts did he actually end? He started pulling out of Afghanistan.
Which was something Obama was doing.
Obama pulled out of Iraq, which, to be probably prematurely, because, ISIS happened.
Now, their first mixtape that they put out on YouTube, that soundtrack was banging. It was really fucked up that you could watch people get single tapped with AKs out in the desert.
They had great music though in those videos.
Donnie really
says he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by 4 different entities, and also says ha 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 and Turkey.
Yeah, I don't get the Peace Prize. When Obama was actually received the Peace Prize and then proceeded to bomb the shit out of a whole bunch of countries, so that doesn't mean anything.
Israel
do
and
you even
Palestine.
know?
It didn't really answer the question. I guess I asked like, what conflicts did Trump actually end? You know,
he says Israel and Palestine hadn't fought under Trump.
That's they
not true.
Trump.
Yeah, not really.
It wasn't publicized.
Yeah,
but you can guarantee some shady shit was going down no matter what.
Yeah.
That's fucking interesting.
Obama himself.
And I guess also I would ask them, what did Trump actually do to facilitate that? Like, what did he?
You're saying things he did. Well, you're saying it as if he was something he did. Those are things that happened under Trump.
Yeah.
Again, he's the figurehead. He's a moron.
Yes.
If he was actually talking to those people, he would fuck up so bad he would have probably started a conflict. So that's why they happened with other people. And you know,
him and Kim Jong-un got well so long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not a person to admire.
You know what? As much as I'll give Trump that, I'm glad someone went and talked to North Korea. You know, even if it was Trump.
Appreciative.
Yeah, like I'm glad. I think that's something I can say Trump did. Right? Even if I wish someone more competent would have handled the situation. But I'm all for talking to people. So.
And it brings up Turkey again. Says this is an echo chamber.
What did we do with Turkey? Turkey.
I don't know. I'm just repeating.
Okay,
it. He says,
here's what happened with Turkey under Trump's rule. They invaded Syria. I don't understand what the point is here. That's not ending a conflict. That's getting Turkey more involved in a conflict.
I don't know. I know very little.
We also abandoned the Kurds.
As him starting a conflict.
We did abandon some Kurds.
We abandoned the Kurds to Russia and Turkey. Turkey invaded Syria during Trump's. Which again, what did Trump have to do with that? I don't know.
He allowed it to happen. It was the end of democracy.
That's right.
God bless America and no place else.
And isn't viewed now as a conflict, but I guarantee in the future it will be seen as the start of a conflict that Trump started.
The COVID vaccine under Pfizer was approved under Trump.
Yeah.
And fast track.
With money from Germany.
Auf Deutschland. Jawohl. Trying to make up for something, I don't know what.
You want to know what Trump did with the coronavirus?
Had a button installed to give him Diet Coke in the White House office, the Oval Office.
He gave specifically the Wuhan virology lab money. And it was Rudy Giuliani who brought it up in 2017.
Sure. Wait, Rudy called him out?
Stupidly. He said it was under Obama that money from the U.S. government went to the Wuhan virology lab. But in 2017, Obama isn't president anymore.
Wait, well, hold up. Is that something that was passed under Obama and then just only happened in 2017? Or was that something that Trump was or someone under Trump was send money to the Wuhan virus lab?
I don't know.
Donnie says Fauci gave the money and then denied it.
I'd like to see a citation on that.
I think there's bad people on both sides.
Yes. Bad people on both sides. Unfortunately, Trump is one of the worst of the worst.
Oh yeah, I believe that fully.
And he failed upwards completely.
Real hard. That guy tripped up the stairs. It was an escalator. Thank God it was going upwards already.
You want to say Trump did all this shit? No. Trump paid for all the shit to happen. That's it.
Boy, oh boy, didn't we all pay?
He also says this is like watching CNN.
Well, you
I don't fucking care about
pull
CNN.
Your head out of your ass.
CNN
I have no idea what CNN's like. I haven't watched it in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's been longer than that.
I'm looking at third-party sources. I'm not even talking first-party, because first-party is all about the money-making. It's a corporation now. I don't give a shit about what they say. Unless they're breaking news on something, and usually they aren't.
But also that guy might be the devil.
I'll definitely say for the record, I think Trump's a gigantic goon and a huge liar. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of like this specifics, especially when it comes to like international conflicts and stuff like that. But I'm not a fan, but I mean, you know, I'm sure he did some good things while he was in office too. It's not like 100% of the stuff he did was awful. But
I heard they fast-tracked the vaccine.
But yeah, I mean, like, you know, he's just such a goon and such a rude guy. Like, it's just
an idiot.
Definitely. I mean, the whole stuff with like, do you guys remember like the Paris Agreement when he said he was gonna fucking release his taxes and he never did, and just like, I don't know.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Never does. Hey, his taxes were gotten somehow. Hey, I'm gonna sue because I wanted them out there in the first place, right? He's a liar. Always lying. If you can't see that, then you need your priorities checked.
It's not my president.
This is true. He is no longer your president.
Yeah, I used to say he's my president because we elected him. Not now, though.
I would say he's a president at the time.
I'd say he's an ex-president.
And I would say he's disgraced now.
I think he's really.
Did you hear about his fucking blog shutting down not even 1 month after it launches?
Nobody wanted to work there.
No one was reading it.
Because he couldn't put it out there.
I guess he doesn't really have a platform anymore. Yeah, he's off Twitter.
Dude, they let me have a Twitter account.
Are you saying false shit left and right?
One time I posted this joke about how two blondes give a dissertation on theoretical physics, and then everyone gets up and claps at the end of it because that's what they went to college for.
So, a joke versus actually instigating shit.
I don't know. I think it's funny that blondes aren't smart, and I still said the thing I said. I'm joking.
Blondes, yeah.
I'm joking.
Couldn't tell.
I know. It's the eyebrows.
Well.
Hey, William? William, what's next week's topic?
Next week's topic?
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't know.
It's got to be a poor life decision, William.
What are some other topics that you've already covered?
We did like poor high school decisions, poor hygiene decisions, poor. What else? Let me look at the thumbnail. We did childhood, anger, fashion, online purchases, social media, sporting, work decisions.
If you know one of us would have a good story, you could suggest that too.
Yeah, give me a little bit to think about that.
Only till the end of the podcast.
Okay.
In the meantime, what's your favorite animal, G-Fox?
Say that again.
The bearcat, or binturang.
All right, I've got it. Poor culinary decisions.
Nice.
You can expand it to poor food-related decisions.
Animal Chin suggested that I talk about my great hot dog life decisions the other week, where I put malt vinegar all over them and stick them in my pooper.
Speaking of Animal Chin,
I was with you.
Is he coming on for a segment?
Sticking them in the pooper.
Yeah, no, I agree. Animal Chin came in talking something about Wienerfest, and then poor hot dog decisions of putting wieners in my butt. Highbrow humor.
Thinking about that time you put ketchup on your pancakes.
Wasn't bad. Never done it again, but it wasn't bad.
Wow.
I hate a dry pancake.
Yeah.
We did it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Donnie, for engaging.
Donald.
That was an enjoyable segment.
Thank you for the discussion. I do not hold anything against you personally, sir.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for watching. I apologize about our president. Aren't you from Canada? Like, what the fuck? Anyways, hey, thanks for joining us. Good night, good luck. As always, I'm George Clooney. This is Val Kilmer.
I'm Silver Doubloons.
Thanks, Will. Thanks, G Fox.
Thank you for having us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Sleep well, everyone, and don't forget to dab on the haters. Good night. See you next week.